A resident choreographer interprets a written brief into a performance piece. The human body becomes their means of expression. The language of dance is one of extremes, moving between subtle glances to the primal rawness of desire. But how does a choreographer convert words into movement? Simon Hoy, resident choreographer of the Melbourne Ballet Company, joins us today on Behind the Words.
Does your creative process follow a set routine when you start a new dance brief?
Yes, it does. I often try to find music first, and then I use that as a guideline as to how the piece is going to unfold. Generally, we use a fairly classical vocabulary of movement, and so, I draw on the experience of the dancers that I have in my own experiences through dancing myself to then start a new project.
How complicated do you think it is to interpret a new dance piece when it's so open to all different types of interpretation?
Not so much difficult. I think it's more so interesting to see where a new piece goes. I try not to plan too much in terms of, this is exactly what I'm going to create and this is how it will be when it's finished.
Do you ever imagine yourselves as the characters of the ballet and that way can learn their movements through the character's eyes?
Yeah, sure. All of my work, as abstract as it sometimes is, there's a line of narrative, and whether it's character-based or whether it's motive-based, I always try to put myself in that mind frame of whatever the essence of the work is.
How do you receive a written brief?
It depends on what the project is. I recently did an opera at the Victorian College of the Arts Secondary School, and so the head of dance came to me about 6 months before and said, we want to have a collaboration between the music school and the dance school and orchestra and conductor, and put together an opera. But we want it to be equally shared between the dance school and the music school. So basically each character was portrayed by a dancer and a singer, and then I basically went from there. So there's that case where you're brought in as a choreographer, especially to do a project that somebody wants done, or you might be asked to do a ballet for a ballet company, or and they have music that they want, and they have quite sort of strong guidelines as to how they want you to work. I go to Switzerland every year for a couple of months to help a team put on this big ball that they do in St Gallen. And I mean, the structure there is quite open in a sense. I mean, there's people from Cirque du Soleil, there's dancers, there's singers, musicians, but still their structure, it's very clear to them what they want, and so we need to get together early on in the process and sort of make sure that they're happy with how we've put together the show. So there's that way of going about it. Or with Melbourne Ballet Company, it's completely open with the pieces that I choreograph. What music I choose, what dancers are in the work, and how a program is put together.
What do you prefer? Do you like having something structured and you know what to do, or you like the freedom of...
I think I prefer having the freedom. I do enjoy working on a creative team too, so it's interesting. For example, the Switzerland project that I do each year, a lot of the decisions that are made are not really the taste that us as a creative team wants, but it works perfectly for what they need. So the challenge there is to navigate yourself around the ingredients that you're given. I do absolutely love finding the music, developing a narrative that I believe in, and putting together a team of dancers that I feel are going to deliver the work in its best possible light. That's my favourite format.
During the rehearsal period, are you open to suggestions from the dancers?
I am, yeah. And I am lucky enough to work with some fantastic dancers and very experienced, and dancers who've worked in companies all over the world. So to utilise their experience, you know, is very important. I think I need to hold on to my own sort of choreographic line to a certain extent because I need to understand where to go from one point to the next. You know, it can't be just a random step somewhere without it making sense and tying into the rest of the sentence, if you like, of movement. I think some of the dancers that have worked on several of my projects understand my approach to movement, so therefore they can go in a direction that I probably would go in myself.
Well, thanks so much, Simon, for
Oh,
joining us
pleasure.
on Behind the Words.
Yeah, thank you very much.